I grew up playing the basketball with the boys, so like it's always been physical and feisty, and like that's what it is, and you got to find a way to hold your own.
And Clark. Just minutes ago, the unthinkable became reality. The WNBA's brightest star has abruptly stepped away, leaving fans in disbelief and teammates devastated. Whispers spread in every corner. Was there a bitter clash with league leadership? An undisclosed career-threatening injury? Or a scandal too dangerous to admit publicly? Sophie Cunningham's voice trembled. Lexie Hull's tears streamed, their sorrow captured by the cameras. The arena felt colder, the silence heavier. What could drive Clark to walk away so suddenly? The truth will shake the foundation of everything, the Caitlin Clark enigma. Clark, the rookie sensation who transformed the WNBA overnight, is now at the center of the league's most puzzling storm. Just days earlier, she wasn't merely playing, she was dominating. She led her team in points, assists, and captured the nightly headlines. She wasn't struggling, she wasn't hurt, and she wasn't missing practices. She was the fire that filled arenas, lifted television ratings, and brought in an entirely new generation of fans. And then, in an instant, she was gone. No warning, no explanation, only silence. Shock spread like wildfire. Within minutes, speculation multiplied. Some insiders suggested it was load management, a term often used to cover up rest or nagging injuries. Others whispered about vague disciplinary measures, but none of it added up. Clark hadn't broken rules. She hadn't disrespected teammates. She had been flawless on and off the court. That's what made her vanishing feel less like a routine benching and more like an erasure. Something deeper was unfolding, and everyone watching could feel it in their bones. Then came the leaks from behind closed doors. People with knowledge of private league discussions described rising tension between Clark and certain top officials. Her meteoric rise wasn't just about baskets and assists, it was about her voice. Post-game interviews turned into viral moments. Clips of her blunt honesty bounced across social media. She wasn't obeying the unspoken rule of blending in, she was standing out. And not everyone in charge was comfortable with it. One rumor in particular lit the fire. In a private meeting, Clark reportedly pushed back against league marketing strategies, calling them tone-deaf and disconnected from the fans she believed she represented. She didn't sugarcoat. She didn't bow to authority. She spoke directly, and according to those in the room, her words landed badly. Within 48 hours, her playing time was reduced. By 72 hours, she was benched completely. Then things grew even darker. No press conferences, no interviews, no direct statements. It was as if someone had flipped a switch, reducing one of the league's brightest stars to a shadow. But fans refused to let her disappear. Hashtags like "Where is Caitlin" trended within hours. Comment sections overflowed with fury. Calls for transparency rang out across X, Instagram, and TikTok. Thousands of loyal supporters demanded answers. Even NBA stars joined in, blasting the league's treatment of Clark as shady, manipulative, and disrespectful to the integrity of the sport. Every unanswered question fueled suspicion, and the WNBA's silence only magnified the outrage. What began as confusion was quickly transforming into defiance. Section 2. This isn't just about silence anymore. It's about silencing. And with each passing hour, the cloud around Caitlin Clark grows heavier, pressing down on a league already desperate to manage the story. For the first time, the WNBA isn't only battling a controversy, it's battling its own fan base, who refuse to look away. And as Sophie Cunningham pours fuel on the fire, one question looms. Can the WNBA survive when its silence breeds rebellion? Stay tuned. Sophie Cunningham lights the match. When Caitlin Clark vanished from the spotlight, the silence was suffocating. But into that silence stepped Sophie, and everything changed. Reporters were still clawing for scraps of information. Fans were flooding league inboxes with outrage. The WNBA's leadership remained stone-cold quiet. Then Sophie spoke. She didn't dance around it. She didn't play safe. She went straight to the jugular. It happened during a post-game interview that should have been routine. Instead of cliches and polished phrases, Sophie delivered a line that shook the sports world. You don't sideline your biggest star unless you're afraid of her power. The moment those words left her mouth, the room froze. Reporters leaned forward in shock. Before the league's PR machine could react, that clip ignited across social media. Within hours, it was everywhere. TikTok, Instagram Reels, highlight accounts, podcasts. Fans replayed it like a rallying cry, but Sophie didn't stop. What could have been a one-off moment turned into a campaign. On her podcast, she doubled down, accusing the league of something darker, retaliation. She claimed Clark's benching had nothing to do with basketball and everything to do with politics. According to Sophie, the league cared more about control than growth, more about maintaining authority than celebrating the star power keeping it alive. She went further than most dared, saying aloud what others only whispered, that Clark's punishment was a warning, meant to remind athletes of the price for speaking too boldly or shining too bright. Her words cut like a blade. In meetings, Sophie repeated them. On broadcasts, she held firm. She refused to back down. She wasn't scared of losing minutes or paying fines. To her, the real danger wasn't personal. It was letting the league erase one of the most significant players of this generation without resistance. Fans responded with energy. Her boldness became contagious. Hashtags evolved from outrage to activism. Stand with Sophie and Nart Free Clark trended side by side, lifted by thousands of voices. What began as one player's stand had become a movement, a current so strong the league couldn't ignore it. Fans didn't just rally for Clark. They rallied for Sophie, praising her as the only one willing to risk it all to expose injustice. The WNBA hadn't seen it coming. The spark spread faster than they could contain. The fire was no longer about one player's disappearance. It was about the league's very credibility. Sophie Cunningham had thrown open a door the WNBA was desperate to keep locked, and behind it were truths that could reshape the game forever. Now, what started as Caitlin's absence has escalated into a battle for the league's survival. But one question burns brighter. What revelation hides behind Lexie Hull's silence? Section 3, keep watching. Lexie Hull breaks the silence. Sophie Cunningham's blaze had already shaken the league to its core. But the very next day, the storm intensified. Lexie Hull entered the spotlight with a different kind of force. She didn't write a polished statement. She didn't record a podcast. She didn't rely on scripted talking points. Instead, she walked straight into the press room after practice, locked eyes with the cameras, and dropped a single sentence that cut deeper than any speech. If Caitlin Clark can be treated like this, what do you think they'll do to the rest of us? The room froze. No spin, no polish, just unfiltered truth. Reporters stopped writing. Players in the back shifted uncomfortably, and within minutes, the clip burst far beyond women's basketball. It wasn't just WNBA fans reacting now. The entire sports world chimed in. ESPN anchors, YouTube analysts, commentators across the spectrum all echoing the same question. What is happening behind closed doors at the WNBA? Lexie didn't stop there. Hours later, she posted a striking black and white photo of herself standing beside Caitlin Clark. The caption was just one word: loyalty. That single word detonated a storm of speculation. Was she hinting at betrayal in the locker room? A shot at management? A warning for teammates pressured to stay silent? No one knew for certain, but the timing was impossible to ignore. The ambiguity only deepened the tension. Meanwhile, behind the curtain, reports leaked that Lexie had become one of the most outspoken voices in team meetings since the controversy erupted.